Fans of Coronation Street have begun speculating that Todd Grimshaw may soon admit to killing Theo Silverton in an attempt to protect his adopted daughter, Summer. Todd, portrayed by Gareth Pierce since 2020, spent much of the past year trapped in a toxic and controlling relationship with Theo. During the soap's heavily promoted Murder Week storyline, viewers were led to believe that one of 5 troublesome residents could lose their life. In a surprising twist, however, Theo became the victim instead. As the mystery surrounding his death continues to unfold, Summer, played by Harriet Bibby, has found herself at the center of the investigation. She has been formally charged with murder and is currently behind bars, awaiting her fate. Earlier this week, Summer informed DS Lisa Swain that she had seen Tyrone Dobbs on the night Theo was killed. She believed that if Tyrone confirmed seeing her, it would establish her whereabouts and help prove she had nothing to do with the crime. Despite knowing the truth, Tyrone denied having any contact with Summer that evening. Meanwhile, investigators discovered Summer's brooch inside Theo's apartment, leading Swain to conclude there was sufficient evidence for the Crown Prosecution Service to approve murder charges against the student. Later, Summer's close friends Asha and Amy approached Todd and revealed that they had spoken with her earlier that day. According to them, Summer felt completely trapped by the situation and could not see any hope of escaping it. Todd appeared visibly troubled by what they said, while nearby, Tyrone quietly overheard the conversation and seemed increasingly uncomfortable. The tension continued when Todd joined Sarah, George, and Christina for lunch at the bistro. Their meal was interrupted by Theo's former wife, Danielle, who stormed in and directly accused Todd of killing Theo in order to benefit from a life insurance payout. As the episode progressed, Tyrone made a mysterious phone call to an unknown person. During the conversation, he expressed concern for Summer's condition, saying that she was suffering badly and suggesting that they were partly responsible for what she was going through. He insisted they needed to meet and discuss the events of the night Theo died. The identity of the person on the other end of the call remains a mystery, but many viewers believe Todd's guilt over Summer's imprisonment could push him into making a confession, regardless of whether he actually committed the crime. Reacting online, one fan commented that Tyrone deserved to feel guilty for allowing Summer to remain in prison for something she didn't do. Another viewer pointed out that Tyrone's behavior made him look increasingly suspicious because of his lies. A third fan shared a theory that Todd could soon walk into the police station and confess to Theo's murder, presenting a convincing account that would lead authorities to believe him. They suggested that shortly afterwards, Tyrone might finally provide Summer's alibi, leaving Todd in serious trouble. Another viewer supported this possibility, arguing that Todd may feel so responsible for Summer's suffering that he could falsely admit to the crime simply to secure her release, despite likely being innocent himself. Not everyone agreed with the theory, however. One fan questioned why Todd would wait so long to come forward if his goal was to protect Summer, suggesting people would find his confession difficult to believe because he hadn't acted sooner. Trouble appears to be closing in on Tyrone Dobbs in Coronation Street, as a newly released spoiler clip reveals Carl Webster making a threatening promise that could change everything. Suspicion has surrounded Tyrone, played by Alan Halsell, for several weeks. The drama began when Summer Spellman, portrayed by Harriet Bibby, insisted that Tyrone could confirm her whereabouts on the night Theo Silverton was killed. However, despite knowing the truth, Tyrone refused to back up her account. The reason dates back to a shocking incident at the garage. Moments before crossing paths with Summer, Tyrone accidentally knocked the jack supporting Kevin Webster's car while Carl Webster was underneath it. Carl had been attempting to tamper with the vehicle's brakes following a bitter confrontation with Kevin and the theft of money he had intended to use to escape. The accident left Carl seriously injured when the vehicle crashed down on him. Terrified by what had happened, Tyrone ran from the scene. During his escape, he briefly encountered Summer before later bumping into Ronnie Bailey. Ronnie quickly stepped in to handle the crisis. He loaded the injured Carl into his car, drove him to the hospital, and left him there before carefully cleaning the vehicle to remove any evidence linking Carl to him. Because of this chain of events, Tyrone cannot support Summer's alibi without exposing his own presence near the garage at the exact time Carl was hurt. Any admission would also reveal Ronnie's involvement in transporting Carl and covering up the aftermath of the incident. However, Tyrone's conscience is weighing heavily on him. Knowing that Summer remains imprisoned while he keeps silent has left him overwhelmed with guilt. Ronnie has repeatedly urged him to stay calm and trust that matters will eventually work themselves out, but Tyrone is finding it increasingly difficult to cope with the pressure. The situation became even more dangerous when Carl witnessed a heated exchange between Tyrone and Todd Grimshaw. Todd had recently visited Summer, who was devastated and unable to understand why Tyrone continued to lie. Sensing an opportunity to create more chaos, Carl took a keen interest in the argument. As Ronnie hurried Tyrone away, Carl quietly followed behind and overheard Tyrone confessing his intense guilt and anxiety over misleading the police. Although Ronnie once again tried to reassure Tyrone and keep the situation under control, events quickly spiraled. When they returned to the pub, Todd continued pressing Tyrone for answers, while Ronnie attempted to stop Carl from getting involved. Unfortunately for Ronnie, Carl had already heard enough, and it was clear that he now possessed information that could place Tyrone in serious jeopardy. Upcoming Coronation Street scenes will see Carl Webster make it crystal clear that Tyrone Dobbs is far from safe. While relaxing in the Rovers, Carl notices Fizz Dobbs heading off briefly, leaving Tyrone on his own. Sensing an opportunity, he immediately picks up on Tyrone's unease and decides to exploit it for his own amusement. Although Tyrone attempts to stand his ground and tells Carl to leave him alone, Carl has no intention of backing off. Instead, he edges closer, clearly enjoying the discomfort he is causing. Carl continues to push Tyrone, provoking him and daring him to react. When Tyrone refuses to rise to the bait, Carl becomes even more convinced that he has the upper hand. Settling himself comfortably on a bar stool, he remarks that Tyrone's expression reveals exactly what he is feeling, a combination of fear and guilt. Determined not to expose his emotions, Tyrone tries to maintain a calm front. However, Carl isn't finished. He bluntly warns Tyrone that whatever secret he is keeping will eventually come to light. Confident in his own abilities, Carl boasts that uncovering hidden truths is something he excels at. After delivering his chilling message and feeling satisfied that he has rattled Tyrone, Carl casually walks away toward the bar. Left behind, Tyrone struggles to compose himself, his nerves clearly shaken by the encounter. Soap fans know that secrets rarely stay hidden forever, and this latest storyline appears to be heading in that direction. It seems only a matter of time before Carl discovers the truth about Tyrone's involvement in the accident that left him badly injured. The big question is what happens once that revelation comes out. Carl has already shown he can be a dangerous opponent, but with Ronnie firmly supporting Tyrone, will he think twice before seeking revenge? And meanwhile, how much longer will Summer remain behind bars while the truth stays hidden? Coronation Street continues to air on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX.